Welcome back. The Coins Hunter's top 3 most ultra super rare and valuable Washington quarter dollars worth big money. Imagine stumbling upon these rare quarters that could transform your financial destiny. These quarters so rare and unique that it commands prices ranging from hundreds to even thousands of dollars. Stay with us till the end to uncover how you might possess a coin worth a small fortune. The rarest error coins in U.S. history. The elusive 1979 D Washington quarter. A coin that has defied the odds, shocked collectors, and fetched life-changing sums of money at auction houses. You might have seen hundreds of Washington quarters in your life, but only a select few, those with bizarre minting errors, shocking double dies, and unheard of anomalies, are the real treasures. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1979 D era quarter, a coin whose variants have sold for $5,000, $15,000, even upwards of $100,000 depending on the error type and condition. And yes, there are whispered rumors in the numismatic community of examples that could one day reach or even exceed $1 million. Fire, so don't blink, don't skip, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and you might just realize that you're holding a goldmine in your own hands. The birth of the 1979 D quarter. Before we get into the juicy errors and record-breaking values, let's talk about the origin of the 1979 D quarter. The year was 1979. America was undergoing major shifts, the economy was on edge, inflation was climbing, and the U.S. Mint was working overtime to meet the growing demand for coins. The Denver Mint, one of the busiest in the nation, was churning out hundreds of millions of quarters that year. These weren't just ordinary misstrikes, they were jaw-dropping minting anomalies. We're talking double die obverse, broad strikes, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, struck on wrong planchets, and more. These rare error types not only make a coin unique, they send its value skyrocketing. But what's even more fascinating, most people had no idea. These coins were casually spent, passed along, tossed into fountains, dropped in vending machines, and some are still circulating today. Rare errors of the 1979 D quarter. Let's dive into the most notorious and valuable errors found in 1979 D Washington quarters. These are the ones that have collectors racing to auctions and treasure hunters digging through pocket change. 1979 D quarter struck on a nickel planchet. These coins can be worth $1,000 to $3,000 in circulated condition, and much more if they're uncirculated. 1979 D quarter double die obverse. DDO. DDOs are prized by collectors, and depending on the severity of doubling and the condition of the coin, these can fetch $2,500 to $10,000 or more. Off-center strikes. A 1979 D quarter struck 50% off-center can be worth $750 to $5,000, especially if the date is still visible. Clipped planchet error. These types of errors on a 1979 D quarter have sold for $300 to $1,500, depending on size and appearance. Broad strike with no rim. These quarters look stretched or oddly shaped, and a nice broad strike can command $200 to $1,000 plus. Struck on foreign planchet. A 1979 D quarter struck on a 1-cent blank or a foreign planchet can sell for $2,000 to $10,000 plus due to rarity. And here's the kicker, some of this isn't just spare change, it's a piece of American history, minted in a year that rocked the coin-collecting world. Due to a unique storm of economic choices, minting changes, and dramatic errors, the 1983 P Washington quarter became one of the most talked about, hunted, and valuable modern coins in U.S. numismatic history. Clips of rare coin auctions, cash counters flipping through stacks of $100 bills. People have sold these 1983 error quarters for upwards of $15,000. Others, with pristine condition and dramatic minting flaws, are believed to be worth far more. Some experts even whisper about values that could one day break $1 million mark. Get ready for a deep dive into the wild world of mint errors, lost design elements, mysterious die varieties, and more. From historical twists that changed U.S. coinage forever to stunning auction sales that dropped jaws, we're about to uncover the mind-blowing secrets behind the 1983 P Washington quarter. To understand why the 1983 P quarter is so special, we have to rewind to the early 1980s. An era marked by economic turbulence, government cost-cutting, and major shifts at the U.S. Mint. And that's where the story of the 1983 P quarter really begins. The 1983 P error. Now here's the twist. Not only was the 1983 P Washington quarter one of the most difficult modern coins to find in high grade due to circulation, but it also came with some fascinating minting errors and die anomalies that exploded its value in the eyes of collectors. Spitting eagle error. Depending on the condition, a spitting eagle 1983 P can fetch $100 to $1,500 or more. In mint condition with full strike details and no wear, you're talking $5,000 or higher. and that's just the start. Doubling errors. Well-struck examples of 1983 P double dies have gone for over $10,000 in auction settings. Center strikes and broad strikes. The higher the value. Some 1983 P quarters with significant off-center strikes can command $500 to $2,000 depending on severity and condition. Condition is King's 600 words that makes finding a high-grade version extremely difficult and extremely valuable. MS66, MS67, MS68, what do they mean? MS65, gem uncirculated, somewhat common for 1983 PS, valued around $150 to $300. MS66 starts getting rare. Prices jump to $500 to $1,500. MS67 scarce. Sales have reached $5,000 to $7,000. MS68 nearly impossible. If one exists in this grade, it could fetch $20,000 to $40,000. Or even more in the right market. Beware the cleaned coin. Cleaning a coin, even with good intentions, destroys its collector value. Natural patina, luster, and signs of originality are crucial in high-grade evaluation. Auction records and big sales. A PCGS MS67 plus 1983 P Washington quarter with a crisp strike and no errors sold for $4,200 at a major auction. A Spitting Eagle in high grade went for $1,800. A double die variety with clean surfaces and no contact marks reached $12,500 in a heated bidding war. Rumors circulate. You've seen rare coins before, but none like the legendary 1966 era Washington quarter. From forgotten mint mistakes to record-breaking sales, this one coin has sent shockwaves through the numismatic world and changed lives in ways you wouldn't believe. This coin is no ordinary quarter. It's a gateway to millions of dollars. This particular Washington quarter holds a deep, mysterious history. One that's been buried for decades, until now. Background of the 1966 Washington quarter. The 1966 Washington quarter was a part of the standard series of coins issued by the U.S. Mint. But the 1966 Washington quarter is anything but typical. It's known for a few rare error varieties that make it a true gem for collectors. Among the most sought-after versions are those that contain major design flaws that were made during the minting process and left some quarters in circulation with drastic errors. The error what made these coins special. The primary error associated with the 1966 Washington quarter is the double die variety. This happens when the die that stamps the design onto the coin shifts slightly during the production process, causing the image to be imprinted twice. In the case of the 1966 quarter, this resulted in multiple instances of doubling on the lettering, especially on the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions. The doubling is usually subtle, but it's often visible under magnification. As with all rare coins, the demand for these error pieces is much higher than the typical 1966 Washington quarter. But that's not all. There's more. The value, from hundreds to millions. What can this rare piece of history be worth? At the lower end, a 1966 double die Washington quarter might fetch a few $100s at auction. But as the quality improves, and if the error is particularly noticeable, these coins can be worth thousands. In fact, certain examples of this error have sold for over $20,000 in recent years. But hold on, it doesn't stop there. For a well-preserved, high-grade 1966 error Washington quarter with a clear double die, we've seen coins go for well over $50,000. In fact, the most prized specimens of this rare error have reached insane prices that can exceed $100,000. Yes, you heard that right. But let's take this even further. Coins in perfect condition, especially those graded MS67 or higher by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, have been known to fetch mind-boggling sums in the right auction. We're talking $200,000, $300,000, and in the rarest cases, they can climb into the millions. The market, why prices continue to rise. Why are these coins so valuable, and why do prices continue to rise? The market for rare coins is driven by a mix of rarity, condition, and demand. When a coin like the 1966 double die Washington quarter comes along, collectors and investors alike want a piece of history, and they're willing to pay top dollar for it. As fewer of these coins remain in C.